welcome to episode 87 of the Life in General podcast. My name is Nick.
My name is Ian.
Why'd you jump? It looked like, did I scare you? Did I come out?
No.
You like jumped a little bit.
No, I was like leaning away from the microphone, so when I came in...
Oh, you're like, oh shit, I gotta talk real
exactly. It's like, oh yeah, I'm on the air. Jumped in.
Ian's like nodding off over there.
I might be.
I startled him and woke him
Are you kidding? I'm generally asleep through all of our shows.
Pretty much.
It would explain a lot.
Yeah, pretty much. As always, any questions or comments, you can email us at contact@lifeandjoelpodcast.com. Check us out on Twitter at LIGpod. We're also on Facebook, iTunes, Google Podcasts, YouTube. Have you checked out our YouTube channel, Ian?
I'm a subscriber.
As you yawn.
I started yawning. You made me stop, actually. I caught my yawn. But
check us out on Spotify also.
Yes,
We've been getting a lot of plays off Spotify lately, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I am a subscriber of our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I hit the bells, and I was hitting the likes. I haven't done it in a while because for the episodes. But I hit the bell.
You don't even share our episodes on social media.
No, take that back because the last 5 episodes I've done it.
No, you did. No.
Yes, I have.
I know you did the last one,
and the one before that, and at least the one before that. I know. I've been trying to keep up with it.
I've done like 86 episodes in a row. So.
It's fine, but I'm trying to make an effort here.
Nice effort, Ian.
It's an effort for what it's worth. Hey, look, I'm putting a real effort in for this episode. I am coming in with something very special.
No notes.
No notes, and I didn't even know what the fuck we were talking about until I got here. I am really bringing it today.
People, he kills me.
I'm trying. I'm really trying. So what is our topic today?
I don't know, man. What else is going on?
Let's see. Nothing.
Nothing? Ian does absolutely nothing. That's.
I work.
Yeah.
I try to sleep.
You been watching anything? Is anything interesting you been watching lately?
I finished the 2nd season of Mindhunter, which is really good.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever actually watched it.
It's good. It's it's kind of loosely based on reality or on factual. A lot of true crime stuff is in it, but the scenario around it is fictionalized.
Gotcha.
But it's really good. It's a fantastic show. What else? I did watch something else recently. I watched Devil at the Crossroads.
Did you watch that?
Yeah, documentary on Robert Johnson.
Mm-hmm. How was it?
More on the myth of Robert Johnson. It was short. It was only 48 minutes long.
Uh-huh.
But they interview his grandson and kind of delve into
the devil,
the urban myth of what happened.
They made a deal with the devil for. They made a deal.
Yeah. And he really didn't have a very happy life.
It doesn't seem like he did. No.
It ended very. He was poisoned by a jealous husband. Yes,
that's crazy.
And he was near the end of his career in his life. He had kind of given up. He started drinking a lot and started just sleeping around, which he wasn't like that before.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a jealous husband who poisoned him.
Nice. I was just watching a documentary on Coltrane not too long ago.
Oh, really?
I haven't made it all the way through it. I probably will watch half an hour of it. But it's interesting because it kind of goes through all of his heroin use and all that stuff too.
Okay.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of those kind of documentaries coming out lately.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed that kind of stuff. Even when VH1 Behind the Music was on, I used to like watching that, even if it was bands I didn't really like or whatever.
Do they still do that?
No.
Does VH1 even exist anymore?
It's like MTV. It's got shows on it. It doesn't do music.
Reality shows?
Yes, which is a very clever segue into what we're discussing today, I suppose.
So we're going to be talking a little reality TV today.
Yeah, I don't know. Are we going to delve into our personal opinions of it? Or?
Yeah, that's kind of
okay.
I mean, what else is there? What else can we really talk about?
It stinks.
All right, guys, that's the episode.
Yeah, I mean, some of you might catch the reference that I made there. The Critic, John Lovett's the animated show.
Shit, Ian, I didn't even catch it.
Wow, you're either losing it or you suck.
Well, that show hasn't been on I don't know,
20 years. Yeah, but it's a good show.
I guess if you look at reality TV has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Even back in the 40s with Candid Camera and things like that. I guess it really wasn't
Candid Camera was 60s.
40s.
The televisions weren't even around in the 40s.
It started in the 40s.
Huh. They must have broadcast it in theaters then. It's like little segments or something. I mean,
But
Saturday afternoons, you went to the theater and you were there all day.
Yeah.
So
it was like the first like reality kind of program, at least.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then it
kind of morphed into variety, like variety shows.
That and like game shows and stuff too,
Yeah.
like Newlywed Game. It had like a game show aspect of it. It also had like the dirty little.
Well, it still does. I mean, The Bachelor is a prize show.
Yeah.
If you break it down to its
the
essentials,
person is the prize. But
well, yeah. I mean, it is.
I guess
People are competing for her love.
The dating game was the kind of the
Right.
same
Yeah, it's the same
premise.
concept. I mean, the being chosen is the prize, and you are competing with other people.
Yeah.
To get to that point. So I guess in some cases, well, I mean, American Idol, Dancing with the Stars, these are all really essentially game shows at their core.
Pretty much.
The only when you get into like reality shows, I guess like Real Housewives, and the Honey Boo Boo thing and all that stuff. I guess that's more what I would classify as reality shows. The Osbournes, even.
By the way, the first episode of Candid Camera was August 10th, 1948.
And was it broadcast on television? Because I didn't even think televisions were really hitting the market until the early and mid 50s.
That it doesn't say. It says 1940s American comedy television series.
We have to look more into that, I think, because I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, rich people may have had TVs then, but there really wouldn't have been enough of a market for actual broadcast of anything.
Oh,
it's hard to say.
Late 40s. I mean, there obviously wasn't a whole lot out.
No, I mean, we were pretty much still just fresh out of the Depression at that point because the war just ended.
But it kind of evolved through the 70s and all the way up to the Real World kind of really changed everything. And that was 92,
right? And I guess Real World was definitely, I would classify as a reality show.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
More so than say like The Bachelor, because I see now that we've mentioned
Bachelor
it,
is
I
also.
see it is, but I see it more as because there's a competition element to it. I kind of see it more as a game show. But like I said, Real World.
But it's not a game show. But it's the match game, or not the match game, but it's like the dating game.
Yeah, but that's a game show. I mean, those were game shows.
But there's really no like prize you're winning in The Bachelor.
Well, there wasn't. You just got a date with a girl on
That's
the
true.
dating game.
Yeah.
It was just a date. The Bachelor, they're hooking up for theoretically to have a relationship.
Yeah.
So, and The Bachelorette. Like I was saying, I guess the difference or the differentiate for in my mind would be like The Bachelor and shows like that, American Idol and all that, would be more game show-esque, whereas the reality shows would be like Real Housewives or The Osbournes or Real World.
I think it all kind of is. It all falls under
it's
reality
still kind of
TV.
it is like an umbrella of reality TV, but
because even a lot of those
it's real people.
Even if you look like Storage Wars and things like that, those are all kind of like a game show kind of feeling also. And it
I wonder if I don't necessarily agree. I definitely don't agree with the game show quality, but to say that they were reality shows because maybe there's a level of highbrow to it that isn't necessarily present in most other reality shows.
In what?
And say like a Storage Wars or a Mythbusters or something.
Yeah,
like
but
that.
it's a lot of it
because they're almost documentary in nature, whereas in a sense,
I wouldn't go that far.
I mean, that's like saying Ghost Adventures is a fucking reality show.
Because Storage Wars was the show that got in trouble for staging episodes. Also,
true, but that's
put things in the lockers for the people to find and
right. But that aside, how it's before that, where it's perceived to be, because like I said, otherwise you can classify Ghost Adventures as a reality show, and I wouldn't.
I don't even know what it is.
It's the bunch of guys going around chasing ghosts with the equipment, getting EVPs, and I watch it. I watch it all the time. Actually, it's fun to watch, but it's not reality at all. I can't.
Is it scripted? Because that's kind of
it seems like it. It seems like it, but it's not. No, it's not intended.
Because that's from what I read about it or what I read about it. It was like that's kind of like the main differentiator between reality TV and regular TV is non-scripted.
Yeah, but
So
there's
if
been all
it's
these
not-
stories that come out that say all these reality shows are scripted to some degree.
They're not scripted. They're directed.
Guided?
Guided is probably a better term. They're edited in certain ways. You're told, hey, well, go ahead and say this, or this is shown, and other aspects of a conversation aren't shown. It's crafted,
Okay.
but it's not scripted.
Right. Okay, well, I mean, that's a fair, I guess that's fair to say.
I guess
I never, up until today, starting this discussion, I had never even equated the game show element to it. But once I said it, I can't get that out of my head.
Yeah.
From a lot of these shows, not necessarily like Storage Wars, but like The Bachelor, American Idol, Dancing with the Stars, The Voice. Because there's prize, there's competition and a prize. You're watching the competition.
I would say it's a
blurred line,
a combination of the two.
Okay,
it's a reality show with a game show aspect.
Okay, a blurred line for sure.
Because especially if you watch American Idol, there's always like, people are getting up there singing, but there's always like the one guy they'll show on the side, and they'll show his like backstory and give you context.
I thought they did that with all of like the top people.
No, because even some of the people that they show like all the backstory to, they don't make it very far. So I mean, it's just.
Well, and I know they do that with
they're bringing
The Voice and all that too.
Yeah, they're kind of bringing a
dramatic element to it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I never liked that stuff.
No, but if you think about it, for like most of our well, I wouldn't say most of it because reality TV has been
the vast majority of the last
mid-90s.
half of our lives. Yeah.
But for the first half of our lives, and for most of the time before that, television was not only a source of entertainment. It was also like there was also an educational element,
an informational side to it.
Yeah, exactly. And the shows were funny and interesting, but more times than not, there was some kind of educational quality to it also. And that's what you've really lost with all this. And not only is it programming, it's also the networks themselves. If you think about it, early 90s or late 80s, what was on the Learning Channel? What was on History Channel? What was on Discovery?
I know.
Animal Planet, Home and Garden. These were all like
these networks started with programming that was educational. Yes, absolutely.
And now they're completely morphed into
Well, that's what I was going to say.
The Real Housewives of the Ice Truckers, or
right. The History Channel is the network that broadcasts Ancient Aliens.
What's that?
That's the show about where these people have evidence that we were like seeded by aliens, or aliens have visited Earth.
Oh, really?
For the vast majority of our human existence. The pyramids were built by aliens, that kind of stuff. It's a show on the History Channel.
Yeah, that's
just to prove your point what it's morphed into.
But yes,
the Learning Channel. I think the most educational thing you'll find on the Learning Channel would be some of their like home improvement stuff. Other than that, it's going to be all like, well, didn't they have
I think Honey Boo Boo was on there.
It's a Small World or anything. What it was about
because the Learning Channel is TLC,
right?
I don't even think they go by the Learning Channel anymore. By the way, right now on History Channel, Axeman is on.
I don't know what that is.
It's a show about the lumberjack people. I was trying to find TLC to see what was on TLC, but I'm sure it's all the same kind of garbage.
Bushmen of the something or other. There's a show like that. I think that's on Discovery. I think if you want educational, there is the Discovery Network has the Discovery Science Channel. So
is there?
I think that would still kind of classify or qualify as educational. But it's not part of every package. You have to actually add it to your package.
But look at this. So you'd think a channel called DIY would have what on it?
Do it yourself.
Do it yourself kind of programs. The show that's on there right now, Insane Pools Off the Deep End.
Oh, yeah.
The fuck is that?
I watched that. There's
HGTV has Flip or Flop for the next 17 and a half hours.
Well, that's HGTV.
The Cooking Channel the Cooking Channel has Man versus Food.
but there's cooking. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just pointing out how in the minds of these executives they could probably get away with it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so after Axeman is Mountain Men on History Channel.
Yeah.
And then Knife or Death. Well, that's on for a little while. And then it goes into some paid programming in the morning.
Right. And it's funny because the Discovery Channel is like the big one because they have like other extension networks like Discovery Science.
Uh-huh.
And the one that I know most people watch is ID, which is Investigation Discovery. And it's all just true crime.
Oh, is it?
All true crime.
I don't think I've ever seen it. Ooh. Sorry to interrupt you real quick.
Yeah.
Take a wild guess on what's on the Learning Channel right now.
Right now.
Is
it...
I know it's really asking like...
I know, it could be anything.
Could be anything.
Is it... I would say, is it Real Housewives or Honey Boo Boo adjacent?
Oh, no. It's medically related.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is it about plastic surgery?
No, it's not.
Oh.
It's Dr. Pimple Popper.
Oh.
That is fucking disgusting.
That is actually plastic. She does a lot of plastic surgery.
Oh, really?
Too,
I've never seen it.
I've never watched it either, but I think that's...
Oh, and the next...
Because otherwise it's just a half-hour show of her popping pimples.
That's disgusting.
I know. She started as a YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah, okay. I do remember that.
Yeah, she had a YouTube channel where she basically just videotaped herself, like, opening cysts and shit.
So after Dr. Pimple Popper is Untold Stories of the ER.
Ooh.
Must be some, like, sex in the recess bays or something.
Well, I don't think that happens.
Brides, Grooms, and the Emergency Rooms.
Yeah. What was the network that had Bridezilla on it?
I'm not sure.
I think it was the Learning Channel.
It probably was. It sounds like something they'd show.
Yeah.
But a lot of it's kind of turned into this, like, unscripted trash.
Yeah, exactly.
That they pass off as reality.
Right. Because, like, HGTV, that's Home and Garden TV. You know what the vast majority of their shows are? Property hunting.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Yeah. There might be some renovation involved, but for the most part, especially their nighttime, say 6 to 11 at night, is all going to be like beach hunters and bargain hunters. It's all house hunting. It's all property buying.
Yeah. Not
property renovating, but property buying. And what I really like, I don't like, it's ironic to me, but beach hunters, a lot of the houses that they've shown, because I've watched a lot of these episodes, not through my choice, but I've watched them.
Yeah, whatever.
No, seriously. I've been in the Bahamas, and these houses that these people have bought are like, the bargain ones are like $400,000.
Yeah.
And, the hurricane just came through.
Wiped them all out.
They're all gone. I keep watching the video, and my heart goes out to the people of the Bahamas, of course. I mean, it's tragic. But when I'm watching it, because of HGTV, all I can do is say, I wonder if I've seen that house on HGTV before.
It's probably so overly insured. I mean...
Oh, I'm sure it is. But, it is.
So they'll probably walk away from that $400,000 home with $750,000 worth of money in their pocket.
Yeah. Right. And that's just the people who can afford it. Because we were talking about that at work last night or this morning. It was yesterday morning, I guess. About the Bahamas. And not to get off the subject, but,
that's
what
we do here.
I know. Chase said that he's like, man, it's going to be impossible to rebuild because, you can't get dumpsters in there. It's an island and it's flooded. I said, the hotels will be fine.
I don't know.
But they have the insurance money.
Yeah.
They have the resources. They'll get them fixed. The rest of the place is going to be a hovel for the next 25 years.
Just ask Puerto Rico.
Exactly. It's sad, but
and that's why I said I don't know, because I don't think any of the hotels or anything have come back in Puerto Rico. Have they?
I don't know. I know there's some areas of Puerto Rico that are doing well.
Yeah.
But relatively speaking, compared to the rest of the island. So I don't know. It's hard to say.
I mean, if only they would like join another country and like be part of another country.
Oh, wait a minute.
So they could like
get the resources from that other country?
Yeah.
Huh.
No, it's kind of a novel idea.
America would be a good country to do that
maybe
with.
the U.S. should buy it, just like because just like we bought Greenland. It's
now that you mention that, I think we own Puerto Rico because the president offered I think he offered to trade Puerto Rico for Greenland.
That'd be hilarious.
He did.
So.
He did actually do that.
Serious?
He swear to God he did that. He said, well, he threw it in there as like as a matter of fact. It's like, hell, we'll even throw Puerto Rico in the deal.
Oh, that's great.
Or something like that. Something
hilarious.
to that effect.
But kind of back to the topic though, like TLC and MTV, they might be like the biggest offenders,
Right.
to the original intent
of their networks.
Of the networks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because both of them have turned into freak shows. I mean, if you turn on MTV, it's a fucking freak show.
I have not watched MTV since probably the early 2000s. The last time I watched MTV was probably when I was living with you and Mandy.
Yeah.
And that I moved out in 2004, and it probably would have even been before that. And it was Real World and Road Rules. I've always had trouble.
Railroad.
It was their challenges that they would do.
It's called the challenge now.
It's just called the challenge. Yeah. That's a lot easier to say. It's not such a mouthful, at least for me anyway.
Well, Road Rules was only around for a couple of seasons, so.
Right? But the challenge between the two lasted longer than that, didn't it?
I don't know.
Anyway,
I mean, they're on the like 34th season right now.
Right. So, but that was the last time I watched MTV, and at that point, it was already far removed from what it was originally.
Oh yeah.
I don't think they were playing music on it then. Maybe from 3 to 7 in the morning or something.
They have MTV Classic now for that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's an actual network.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I get that.
I don't get it either, but
I would watch that.
I know it's available on some of the streaming on like.
I guess you have to look and see.
DirecTV has like their streaming service.
Okay.
I know MTV Classic is part of it.
I would watch that.
Yeah.
Because that's what MTV was supposed to be.
Yeah, music videos. But of course, like people still make music videos.
Yeah, there's no reason they couldn't put new ones on there.
No, you just have to go on like Apple Music and watch them because that's where all the music videos are on.
Or just go on YouTube and type in that artist.
Yeah,
they post them on YouTube
that's
all
true.
the time.
That's true.
Because you're right. Artists are still making videos.
Mm-hmm.
They're not I don't think they're to the same caliber as they were in the 80s and 90s.
Probably not.
Because
those
had
2000s.
money. They had money behind them. You can accomplish a lot more for a lot less now.
Yeah.
Because of the technology. But I think there's just, I don't know. I've watched a lot of. For instance, I just watched because this is the 15th anniversary of American Idiot, and the Facebook, you keep getting a link to watch the music video for the song American Idiot. So
I
I
watched it. 2004?
Yeah.
Wow.
15 years. Can you believe it? Then I watched it and I'm like, for a high quality video, it's kind of
Oh, really?
Just the video, yeah. It's good. It's Green Day.
Yeah. And green paint.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. It's like, It doesn't hold up to Basket Case or even which came later. Oh Love, I don't know why I like that video. There's a lot of
I don't know if I've ever
naked women
seen
in it.
The video
for Oh Love. Watch the unedited version because there's actually tits in it.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, not a lot, just a couple shots of tits. But it's a band just basically surrounded by supermodels.
Huh?
And
maybe I have
they take
seen
turns
that.
playing and like. Just drinking and chatting with supermodels.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It's just for me that's quality, I guess. But it works for me.
And I guess probably the number one reason that these shows have become as popular as they are is because they're relatively inexpensive to make.
Yeah, well, that's the biggest thing. And there's no shortage of people lining up to get on these shows. For little or no money, but just to get the stardom.
Yeah,
and people watch it. That's where I don't understand. I get the cheapness of making it, the economy of making
not
it.
Only cheap,
I don't get why they appeal to.
It's
people.
almost dirt cheap.
Yeah, I don't get why it appeals to people because it works.
Well,
for what it's worth, it works.
Well, because it's kind of it's mainly like the lowbrow content, over sexualization. It kind of goes to like the lowest common denominator of America.
Yeah, but we all know people who love these shows.
I know, and I've watched a lot of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not willingly. Just
some of them willingly, but
I don't think I've ever watched one of these shows willingly, other than maybe Real World. I probably watched that willingly.
I mean, I think I watched like the first couple of seasons of American Idol. Maybe, I mean,
I never watched
probably
that.
more so because it was on.
I would say,
but
I never willingly went into it, but there were a couple seasons of American Idol that I've watched, and I guess I got hooked into it because I started not necessarily enjoying it, but
following
stories,
it,
yeah, being aware of who these people were.
Like Survivor. I
never watched
I watched
Survivor.
the first. I know I watched the first season of Survivor.
Big Brother, I've never watched.
I watched the first dozen or so of seasons of The Real World.
Yeah, I only watched 2. I think it was only 2 seasons I watched: Vegas and New Orleans.
The Real World Road Rules Challenge.
I watched maybe one.
Those.
I think there was one season of that I watched in full.
I could probably, and like I said, American Idol is probably in the first 3 or 4 seasons I could really tolerate. Last Comic Standing was awesome.
See, that would be a show that I would like. There was also one on the Sci-Fi Channel where it was a competition-ish kind of thing for makeup artists. I forgot what it was called. But that would have been interesting to watch, but it was always on when I was at work, so I never got to watch it. And this was in the days before, or just starting with DVR and stuff like that.
I know I used to watch Hell's Kitchen.
See, the cooking shows, I have to admit, full on, I love the cooking shows.
So, well, those are reality shows.
I know they are.
Top Chef. That's a.
See, for me, it's. I like Chopped.
Yeah.
Chopped freaks me out a little bit because their mixture of ingredients is off the chart crazy sometimes. But as a competition, Guys Grocery Games is like my favorite show ever.
Serious?
I swear to God, I love that show.
Like,
it's not. It's a cooking competition, but he has the grocery store there, so they have to use what he has available.
Yeah, I've seen the show.
But it's you get 4 chefs. At the end of the show, there's 1 chef. It's a at the end of the episode, there's 1 chef.
Reality TV.
Yeah, it's cooking, and for what it's worth, it is a competition. I like the cooking shows. I like seeing what these people come up with cooking.
There was one that I watched. I don't remember what year this was, but it's called Joe Millionaire.
Oh yes.
And it wasn't.
That made a big stink around here for a lot of people.
Yeah, because it was a reality show, but it was it's classified as a spoof reality show.
Well, that's not how they built it to when it was coming out.
No, because they took this guy, and he's like a normal looking guy. He's kind of like overweight, just average kind of looking guy, and they tricked all the female contestants into thinking he was a millionaire.
Yep.
So it was like just hilarious kind of watching them go through this whole thing.
Right.
There's another one in the UK. I've never actually seen it, but I've read about it. It's called Space Cadets. And they take these people and they make them think that they're in a competition
to go to space.
To go to space. But obviously the title of the show is Space Cadets.
Right. You're like loopy. You're fruity or whatever.
You're a dumbass.
Yeah.
I guess they do end up taking them to Russia at some point, but so everyone thinks they're going to Russia
to train
to train as cosmonauts.
Huh.
And they even build the season as the biggest prank in television history.
You can only get away with that for like 1 season though, right?
But this is kind of the interesting thing about it is, so they bill it as the biggest prank in television history. But is it the biggest prank on the contestants
or the viewer?
I
guess it depends on when the viewer is aware that it's not real.
Or do all the contestants know it's not real and the prank is on the viewer?
Oh, right, because it doesn't matter when the viewer knows that, because if the contestants knew it, the prank is on them.
Yeah. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I have a soft spot for British quiz shows.
Yeah.
Which I guess could be classified as reality television.
I guess, yeah. I think, like, all game shows fall under that umbrella.
Because, I mean, the one specifically that I like the most, it's, there's a show in Britain. It's called Countdown. It's a quiz show that has been around for like 40 years or 50 years or some long forever time.
Uh-huh.
And it's, the premise is there's 2 contestants and there's a numbers game and a words game. So wherever they start with the words, you get a pick of 9 letters. It's just vowel or consonant. And you get those, you say, I want a vowel, I want a consonant, up till 9. And then you have to pick. You have to try and make a word out of it, and whoever has the word with the largest.
So it's Scrabble.
It's essentially Scrabble because you get whoever has the longest word, the word with the most letters in it, gets the points for that.
Okay.
And then the numbers game is you get 5 picks. You can get high numbers or low numbers. And then there's a randomizer which picks a number, and then you have to do the math to use the numbers that were picked to reach that number. Really? Yeah. It's highbrow. It's highbrow. I can't do it.
Interesting.
It's a struggle to do it, but it's a very highbrow show. This is like what the British people have been watching for, like I said, 50 years. Well, there's this other show called 8 out of 10 Cats, which is kind of like, it's a bit more variety. So it's comedians and they just make fun of like statistics stuff.
Yeah.
Well, they combine the shows and on a completely different network. 8 out of 10 Cats does Countdown. So it's those comedians, but they're doing Countdown. And it's 2 people against, it's a team of 2.
That's interesting.
And that's the show I love. I love that fucking show. It's hilarious. Because it's like I said, it's all fucking comedians.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just have a soft spot for that. They still have to take this seriously. There's no prize or anything at the end.
No.
Like there is in the original Countdown.
Mm-hmm.
But, they still have to try and match the numbers. They still have to get the letters. And it's a funny show. But, I mean, as far as reality TV goes, that's where I'm like, I can honestly say that I'm hooked on that.
Okay.
And, of course, the only way I can watch that is on YouTube, by the way, because it's a British show.
I don't really, I've always liked game shows. I mean, we used to watch Wheel of Fortune, all that kind of stuff growing up. And it's like,
I like the ones where you have to think.
And even like
Jeopardy.
Whose Line It Is Anyway, we used to watch that all the time. And
that's more of a performance, though. I mean, I know it can fall under the game show category, but it's more performance art or more performance-esque.
Yeah.
Because it's all improv.
It's all improv.
But yes, I agree. We love that show. Do you like it better with Drew Carey or Clive Anderson?
No, Clive Anderson.
Yeah, the original.
I like the original.
I mean, a lot of the same players, but Ryan Stiles was on Clive Anderson, the other bald guy. Actually, I think 3 or 4 of them. The guy with the glasses that looked like Buddy Holly, he was on there with Clive Anderson.
Yeah.
So, but anyway.
But going back to the whole, I was going to go into like how much it cost and all that stuff. So E released... well, they had an article.
Is that E, like the Entertainment Network?
Yeah, Entertainment Network. Said it was one of the heads of E. We're talking about this whole thing, about the whole reality TV like genre, how it's grown and everything. And he was talking about how it costs between $100,000 to $500,000 to produce a 30-minute reality TV show program.
Okay.
So if you take that, and then you look at, say, Game of Thrones on HBO,
which was like $10 million an episode.
Oh well, their last season
was more than that because it was only 8 episodes, right?
But it was over $15 million for the season.
Oh yeah, because it's how much they spent per episode.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, it's like
the
cost comparison. Well, yeah, look at Friends. There was
each of them
6 of them. They're making $1 million
each,
episode,
and that's just for to pay them.
There was 22 episodes a season, so it's a lot of money.
Yes, yeah. Well, I get it. I mean, I get the economics of it. I just I've always been confused by is
what's drawn people,
what the audience is finding in this
in Honey Boo Boo.
Yeah. I don't, especially a show like that. Or like the Real Housewives. I get wanting to see drama in that shit.
Well, yeah,
and I'm guilty of it too. I've been known to watch a few like street fight videos on YouTube myself. Just
well, we used to watch the Osbournes,
but
that's kind of
I was invested.
Real Housewives ish,
kind of. But I was invested in Ozzy because I liked his music. Yeah. That's why I watched it, even though it I think it was not a good idea for them to do that for his career. But for what it's worth, it didn't really hurt him in the long run.
But if you look at the height of its popularity, American Idol was producing $96 million in revenue a season at a gross profit margin of 77%.
Wow.
That's a lot of fucking money.
And I would say American Idol is probably on the higher end of production costs too,
probably
because of the staging, the lighting, all that other stuff, the traveling.
But the other thing, if you think of, and this is kind of like the underside, I think of, or some of the uglier parts of reality TV. If you look at programs like American Idol, The Voice, Probably America's Got Talent also.
Right.
Which,
by the way, a lot of these shows started as British shows. I think the British really did kind of invent in reality shows.
But if
overall,
because they had a real world kind of show before it came out.
Yeah, exactly.
But so you got these like talent programs. They're not only making money off of the advertising, product placement, all that kind of stuff for their wildly popular shows. They're also signing their contestants, if you want to call them contestants, whatever they are, to long-term management contracts for the rights to be on these on the show. So, if you're an artist and sure, I'll go on American Idol. It's all
Stardom.
It's Stardom, all this other stuff. Of course, I'll sign this contract where you guys can, basically have all my money for the first 3 albums I release. And if you have an artist like Carrie Underwood, who came through American Idol, I'm sure they made a shitload of money off her for several albums.
So, Kelly Clarkson too.
And of course, it's going to be the artist that's going to lose out.
Right.
But of course, they're gaining stardom, I guess. If it's some kind of trade off.
Right.
So, but what I'm saying though is, you're not only making money off all this other stuff that's going on with these programs, you're making money off. It's a long-term investment into some of the artists also.
Right. Yeah, I mean, so that number, that 96 million revenue, I would even say isn't including the back end.
No, the back end's got to be a lot higher.
Right. Especially with artists like Carrie Underwood or Kelly Clarkson, who have sold millions and millions of records.
Yep.
Even some of the lesser known have sold millions. I mean, Daughtry fucking sold 1 million records.
Yeah, I don't know.
He hadn't sold any more, but
I don't know how much.
That first Daughtry album sold really well.
But I don't think the long term. I don't think the management contracts extend very far for acts like that. So the season happens and then gets done, and then they go on like a
tour.
Right. And I think that after that tour is over, it's probably when all the rest of the artists are probably no longer under contractual obligation with American Idol, but I'm sure the winner and the runner-up probably are.
Right.
Because I know the winner. I know the winner is. Right. At least it used to be.
And that goes to actual recordings. Like, they own the recordings, too?
Yes, the first album for sure.
Okay. Because I could see giving up your first album. Anything more than that would be stupid.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't be worth it to me as an artist, especially in this day and age.
Yeah. Where you don't really need it. There's SoundCloud, and you can
right.
There's a lot of different ways you can publish.
Well,
your
you get
music.
that one album out. They have to get paid something for it.
Yeah, of course,
obviously. So, and the same with touring. You may have to give a lot of your chunk of your touring, but you're still making money. At the end of that, if it's one album, at the end of that, you may be starting at a slight disadvantage over where you were on the first record.
Yeah,
but you're still at a higher advantage than someone trying to make a career out of their fucking garage.
Yeah.
So you can put out, if you're talented enough, you do your shitty shit for the first album, and then you save your good shit for the second album and say, it's all mine, Get a really good publishing deal on that and move forward.
I guess outside of like the game show based shows, if you look at like the regular reality, quote unquote reality TV,
the honey boo boo of the, because that kind of sums up the lowest end of it, I think.
Yeah, but I guess reality is a bad term for it, because it's not. It's like I said before, we've talked about it before. So Mandy's aunt, I think we've talked about it on the show before, but Mandy's aunt was she got married in Vegas back in 2003, and it was on GAC or one of those networks. Had a reality TV show about themed Vegas weddings. So Mandy and I and the whole wedding party, we were all on this TV program. And like the director, Mandy was like, before they were getting ready for the wedding, and then I remember Mandy said the director looked at her and was like, "Oh, well, look in the mirror and say this and say that and do these things." I'm sure that goes on all the time in this stuff.
Well, she said they did different takes on just getting out of the car.
I don't remember that, but
Mandy told me that.
Okay,
it was like you had to get out of the car a couple different times, different ways. They would shoot you from different angles.
Okay, well, yeah, that makes sense.
That kind of thing. So yeah, I know it's not like we said. What I would equate as scripted, you probably clarified better as saying crafted.
Yeah.
This is not. This is not a day in the life.
Mm-hmm.
This is. It's a production.
Yes.
So
it's made to look a certain way. But in a lot of these shows, I mentioned Storage Wars, but there's also been accusations against Pawn Stars, and I know there's a couple of.
I heard some of the accusations against Pawn Stars because they were like ripping people off.
That and inflation. They're inflating value of things that people bring in.
Right.
Which
would be detrimental to them because they'd have to pay out more.
No. I think they're probably giving somebody X amount of dollars. And there was one episode I saw where a guy goes in with a first pressing Black Sabbath album. Uh-huh. And they're like, oh, they talk. I don't even remember how much money they gave him for this record. But they're like, oh, well, we're not. Well, I don't remember how much he wanted for it. Let me say that. And they were like, well, we don't know. We're going to have to have this. They're big. Yeah, that's their
go-to.
Well, there's somebody inspect it and look at it. So they take it to this record dealer in Vegas. And the guy's like, oh, yeah, this goes for well over $1,000. Probably you can get $1,200 or $1,400 for this record. I'm like, Nate, what the fuck are you talking about? I can go on Discogs right now and buy the exact same record. It's a lot, but I can get it for $600 on Discogs. Uh-huh. But that's what I'm saying. That's how they're inflating the value.
And I guess the argument could be made because I've watched a lot of Pawn Stars,
and they're not paying that guy that kind of money.
They're not, and he's only giving auction-ish, like auction pricing. Like if it was in an auction, auctions are always going to be overinflated mm-hmm. to a degree. So that makes sense, but how it's how it's worded and how it's presented is very different.
House Hunters is another prime example. I think that was the one I was trying to think of. Yeah. So in House Hunters, they give them 3 different options.
Right.
3 different houses.
Yep.
You know that they've already bought that house. They've already bought one of those houses before production even starts.
I did not know that. I've only recently found that out. Yeah. And that's the same with Beach Hunters. All those shows I was mentioning at the beginning.
There's one. They've already have one.
All those shows are exactly the same. Yeah. Because they have to be. There's no difference in how they're presented, so there shouldn't be any difference in how they're produced.
Yeah.
So the one that gets me, and I don't know how it works because I don't know the economics of it. I don't know the legalities of it. But it's Property Brothers. Uh-huh. One sells the property. The other one renovates it. Mm-hmm. Doesn't that seem like a slight conflict of interest?
Not really.
Because, okay.
In what way?
The realtor's brother can find a house that he knows is going to cost this X amount of money, which is being paid to the other brother to do the renovation. Mm-hmm. So it would make sense that he would get these houses where he might know that, because every episode, there's always some hidden issue.
Well, that's how there is in most home renovations.
Yeah, but some of them cost like $10,000, and all that money goes to it's like I watch.
I can see that.
You see where it's not. I'm not saying there's anything shady going on, but it does seem like a conflict of interest.
You can look at a house and say, but then again, they're looking at more rundown houses. You're generally going to,
and they're looking at budgets, specific budgets and stuff.
But what I'm saying though is when you walk into a house and okay, it's going to take us $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 to renovate this house. The house probably hasn't been taken care of, so those are the kind of houses you're going to run into those kind of issues with.
Yeah.
So
maybe I just like I said, I don't know. I'm not suggesting that anything shady goes on. It just seems like they're kind of making money off each other, as well as making money off of the show.
Yeah, I guess they're really
just,
thinking that way.
It's kind of cyclical and not necessarily sure if that would fall under ethical standards in some areas. I don't know.
I mean, first off, they don't really have any kind of ethical standards they have to abide by, really.
Well, as a realtor, they do, and as a contractor, they do, but not as show people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm talking about. I mean, on their professional levels outside of the show, because he has to be a licensed realtor and he has to be a licensed contractor.
Yeah.
So they have to be licensed, and there are regulations that define.
Actually, he doesn't have to be a licensed contractor, but
he doesn't.
You can work under somebody else's license, but
still,
I'm sure.
But there's a license.
He probably is.
There's a license involved, and And for what it's worth, his work looks good as long as, when you see him working, you see what he's doing. But like I said, I question sometimes that ethical gray area that I think may exist there.
I think another kind of big myth in those like renovation shows, and I've had conversations with people before, because I worked in the construction field off and on for 20 some years, and I've heard people say, oh well, I can get that renovation done. It shouldn't take more than 6 or 8 weeks,
and they're doing it in 7 days.
And I'm like, no. In TV, it's taken a month, 6 weeks tops on some of those shows.
I watched a few where they have a 7-day deadline.
Yeah, see, that's bullshit. You're not getting anything renovated in less than a couple of months.
Yeah. Property Brothers is generally 7 days.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm saying
I think
it creates
one of their shows is 7 days.
Even if it's not anything less than a month is make believe.
Okay,
if you're any kind of detailed renovation is going to take you way longer than that. I mean, but I don't know. So so people see these TV shows, these reality shows, and you can get that done in just a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
for 75 cents and a
cup of coffee.
Yeah, a cup of coffee.
I'll do it for that.
A pack of Lucky Strikes.
So what was that episode of Married with Children? I don't remember the context of this statement, but it had something to do with going to school or first day of school or something like that. And Al Bundy was like, I don't know what you're whining about. My mom would just light me up a Lucky and send me off to school. And then the episode where they found out they had British ancestors. And
I don't remember that one.
Main guide, it was a weird episode. It was a 2-parter.
Some of them were.
Yeah. There was like supernatural stuff in it. But the tour guide who was supposed to be walking them around, his name was Winston. So Al kept referring to him as other brands of cigarettes.
Oh, nice.
Like he called him Pall Mall at one point, and called him Lucky Strike, Marlboro, all that kind of stuff. Benson and Hedges.
Oh, Jesus.
Funny stuff. That's another show I should go back and revisit as an adult.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if the joke, the humor, but some of because I've watched like clips and as an adult, and I'm like, how the fuck did they get away with that? Because they wouldn't get away with it now.
No,
there's no way in hell they would.
I've been watching that 70s show the last couple of weeks or month or so, and there's some of those episodes you're like,
yeah,
and that was like early 2000s.
Yeah,
that wasn't that long ago, but
a lot of it came from Red though, so it's like, he's the old character. It's like, you're just old, you don't know any better.
Some of it's from the kids also, but
there's
some there's some
Hyde maybe
some pretty rough like gay cracks and.
Well, there would have been in the 70s too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's I guess
the show wasn't made in the 70s, but
no, but it is representing the 70s, and I guess if you want to be, historically accurate,
I guess,
you have to remember up until 1973, homosexuality was considered a mental disorder. So
they
that wasn't meant to be a showstopper.
Oh no, sorry, I was looking at a text real quick.
Okay,
but real quick, I guess I kind of wrap it all up saying, looking at it this way is, I think unfortunately you now have to turn to, if you want like higher quality entertainment, you're gonna have to
pay for it.
You're gonna have to turn away from like traditional networks and look at more things like Netflix, Hulu, even HBO has stuff.
Disney Plus is coming
out. Amazon, though, I think that's where you're gonna
get the higher quality
quality shows, because eventually, especially with people kind of cutting the cord and going to these like streaming services and things like that. I mean, it's not going to be a surprise to anyone that cable and satellite companies are losing customers.
Right.
So, as a way to kind of fix their bottom line, I think they're going to go to, and they already have gone to primarily reality-based TV programs.
Well, because that's keeping them afloat. But I think at some point, and this is where capitalism works. The more competition you have, the higher quality you have to put out, because you have to compete.
They're not looking at it that way though. They're looking at basically just
they
bottom
will
line.
They will sink eventually.
They have been,
right, and they will continue to.
It's been a 10-year slow decline.
I mean, hell, Netflix is struggling, and their only competitor isn't even out yet. I mean, that's how competitive this market is.
Yeah.
Netflix is struggling with their market share because they know they're going to lose some of it to Disney Plus.
Oh, absolutely.
And Disney Plus is going full force against it.
Yeah.
So,
and it's the price point.
But if you think about it, this just as a last point from my end, and something to consider. One possible good thing about reality shows is it has forced scripted shows to improve.
Yeah,
I think, because if you look at like 2008 when the writer's strike happened, reality shows took over everything because there wasn't any scripted shows. And the strike didn't last terribly long, but it lasted long enough to shorten a lot of TV seasons, which had those time slots had to be filled with cheap entertainment, which was reality shows. Mm-hmm. Once the strike was over, in order to get that market back, that's really when good television truly started. I mean, you'd had some hits, some high quality stuff before that, like The Sopranos, but think about it post 2008. What have we gotten? I mean, the quality of television has improved. They keep saying we are now in the golden age of television, but I think you have to offer up some credit to reality shows, not intentionally, but through the nature of what they are and what they did, kind of forcing that improvement, that striving.
I would say that we're in the golden age of television, not because of the networks.
No, I'm just saying in general, as a quality level.
I think the quality is there because there's so many options. There's so many different ways.
So much competition.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, fair enough, but think about it. If you're a scriptwriter in 2009 and you know that your job, even though the contracts are signed, in 5 years the contracts are going to be up again, and if they're going to be able to fill those slots with cheap, non-scripted television that's going to sell, mm-hmm. then your job is in danger. It might force you to write better. It may force you to improve.
I think the writing was there. But I think here's the thing. If you're a scriptwriter and you go to NBC is going to look at that and be like, it's not
too expensive.
It's not our gig, or it's not going to fit into our budget.
Right.
So now you're able to go, you know what? Fine, fuck you. I'm going to take it to Hulu.
Right.
They'll give me the money. Yeah. Or I'll take it to Netflix. They'll give me the money.
Go to Netflix. They'll give me double the money.
Exactly. Or you can even go to YouTube and whatever.
Yeah.
There's so many different avenues for good quality writers to get their content made and distributed. And I think that's why we're at kind of the golden
age. I mean,
age.
you might be right. Because I noticed an improvement in the quality of shows, just even looking at network shows. Things seem to get better mm-hmm. after the strike. And I think I always assumed it had to do with that level of competition, because there was talk of people saying, the day of scripted television is over. Because the reality shows are just making so much money. Yeah. And it kind of was for a little while there. But that's when the quality started to improve, at least just on the network level. Because we're getting shows now that, I mean, not necessarily the ones that shows that I like, but they're shows that you would never have seen them back in the early 2000s or
look at a show,
or 90s even.
Look at a show like Atlanta.
Right.
Do you think Atlanta would have gotten made 10 to 15 years ago?
No.
Absolutely not.
And that's technically a network show.
It's on FX.
Right,
yeah.
which is, it's a cable network, but it's a network nevertheless.
Yeah, but it's not like a traditional network.
No, it's not one of the big, four, but it's, all those cable networks, they're networks by nature now. Yeah. They've all become the same thing.
Yeah.
So, just because they don't have a local affiliate doesn't mm-hmm. mean anything. But, yeah, you're right, though. Atlanta would never have... It was I don't even think you could have gotten away with that level of type of writing, that kind of design on a network before, And I think it just maybe in a small amount, and it may have just been something minimal, but I think to some degree you have to thank reality television for maybe pushing that level up.
Maybe. Okay.
Just to compete. And I mean, we're pointing out that having the choice is competing and that creating competition, which is increasing quality. But I think the less quality, the cheaper option is a competition too. You know.
But I think a lot of those services, Netflix, whoever it is, I think that they pumped a lot of money into their scripted programs, as an alternative to the reality trash
Yeah.
that is basic.
Although they're guilty
regular
of some of that
television.
reality stuff too.
Yeah, not a whole lot though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Netflix more than the others, I think.
why is that? I mean, well, they do have some of their own stuff.
Yeah,
but-
they have. Well, they have some pretty weird stuff on there. They have there's a vegan documentary on there that is like, I haven't watched it all, but it's
documentaries don't really.
It's one of
fall
those-
under
it's one of those-
reality TV, but
no, but it in a sense, you know, I mean, not in a broad sense, but in
Yeah.
a sense, and it's just like it's if you're a vegan, you won't like it.
oh really?
It's because it makes vegans out to be like crazy, but it's a vegan doing the video or
They
the
kind of
movie.
are, but
Well, I agree, but you know, basically saying that meat causes cancer, eating an egg is worse than smoking. These
Yeah.
are things that are said in this fucking movie.
that's weird.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't finish it. I didn't make it all the way through. I heard an egg is worse than a cigarette. I was like,
Yeah, I'm good.
yeah, I'm done because it's not. So, but anyway,
I don't know. I don't really see anything changing. anytime
no.
soon, that's for damn
Well, I
sure.
think there's a balance now, and I think it has to do with the fact that we have so much choice.
Yeah.
There's a fine balance. There was a time where there was way more reality shows than there were scripted shows. Now it's not. You have options.
Yeah,
you know.
and networks have tried to put more money into some of their scripted
stuff. Yeah,
shows.
absolutely.
But I don't really see anything changing anytime soon. Whenever there's going to be such a large disparity between what it costs to make a reality, an unscripted television program, and what it costs to make a scripted program, networks are.
There's always
They're-
going to be a room for
the networks aren't interested in entertaining you. They're interested in making money.
Right.
So they know they can spend something that's going to be a fraction of what it costs to make something else.
to increase their bottom line.
They're always going to go to that.
Yeah, I'm
Whatever's
not.
going to be the cheapest
I don't
option.
think reality television is going anywhere anytime soon.
No.
You know, and it maybe never. It may never go anywhere. The Bachelor still people still talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Bachelor in Paradise is another one that's on. I guess
Sure. Why
I don't
not?
know what I saw it advertised the other day. I was like,
It's a group orgy.
essentially, that's all it is.
Yeah.
It's just it's sex.
Well, that's what a lot of it is.
Which is fine, but you know, maybe show a tit here and there. You know, for the women and the gay guys, show a dick here. And
Show a
there.
little tip.
Yeah, you know,
Tit and tip.
instead of it just being like the idea that sex is going on, and then a bunch of people fucking crying about it for 2
Yeah.
hours. So anyway, that's my take on those shows.
There was, I don't remember what show. I think it was a Bachelor or Bachelorette. It was one of those shows. Oh, it might have been that. Shit. It might have been that Joe Millionaire show either. One of those reality dating shows. They like one. They is the main person, and then one of the contestants. They like go off into the woods, and you just like hear like a slurping noise.
Oh.
And they showed it on TV.
Yeah,
I was like, oh yeah, they're not leaving anything to the imagination there.
No.
Someone's trying to win.
yeah.
So yeah,
He comes out. We got a new leader.
ding ding.
Oh, that's funny.
That's terrible.
Well, one of I think it's the European version of Big Brother. They show nudity.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah, because I mean, it's
Won't
everything.
surprise me.
It's all, you know. Every room has a camera in it,
Yeah.
so they do show nudity, and they've actually shown sex scenes, but they're under covers.
Yeah.
So, you know, for what it's worth.
They do that on like on Real World too.
Oh,
They'll show
yeah, they
people,
would.
like,
you
under
could tell.
covers, yeah.
You could tell things were going on. Yeah.
I don't know,
Anyway.
man. That's all I got though. I don't have anything
Yeah.
else really add.
If Mandy had been on the show, I think we would have had maybe another 20, 30 minutes of conversation, because she could really fill us in on the deep, dark, or at least the depth of the
Yes.
quality of the reality shows.
My wife does love her.
She does.
reality
Well,
TV.
maybe she could have answered the one question that we've both been asking: is what is the appeal? I mean,
Yeah.
really knowing that it is, especially having experienced it, knowing how crafted it is. Why does it still appeal to
Yeah,
her?
it's a good question.
Be a good question. I'll have to ask her off air, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
All right, man. Well, you got anything else to add?
No.
No, that's it. All right.
Do you think podcasting is reality based, like entertainment?
It's more reality than reality TV is.
True, but
Because I'm kind of the same person if I'm on here or if I'm
yeah, me
anywhere
too.
else.
For the most part, I'm probably I don't know. I don't think I'm any different, am I?
I don't think.
I mean, you know me.
So.
Yeah, so there you go.
So your answer is no.
Okay. But you don't think it might be a byproduct of that?
Maybe to a certain extent.
Very small degree. Okay. Fair enough. It just occurred to me as we were getting ready to sign off that I was like, I wonder if this is something there.
I think it's more so a byproduct of talk radio than reality TV.
For the vast majority of our life, talk radio has like been the complete underbelly of entertainment.
Yeah.
And now everyone's got a podcast.
Pretty much.
So, one of our coworkers might be talking to you because him and his fiance want to start a podcast.
Oh yeah, what about?
I don't remember what he said. I don't. Maybe he didn't say because he asked what ours was about and said everything and anything.
Huh. That's interesting.
He said his fiance were talking about.
I'm always open to if you're interested in starting a podcast, I can definitely.
Yeah, I told him to talk to you. So
yeah. All right. Well, any questions or comments, you can email us at contact@lifeandjailpodcast.com. Check us out on Twitter and Facebook and all that jazz, and leave us some 5-star reviews.
6 stars. I can't say it. It's out of order.
6 stars if for Ian.
Yes.
All right, man. Well, that's all I got.
Yep. Talk to y'all later.
Peace.
Play my role, let me tell you about it. This shit right here, man, I'm about it. Only real niggas reside around me. Yo, old lady, drop a guard around me. Dip like I know you can, bitch. Show me the ropes like we in the ring. Got you two cobras, you wanna hang. Shoulder to shoulder, them niggas basic. You know I won't lie. You know that I ain't for that fuck shit. You niggas alright, but I'm way better and she love it. Know that you're sick as fuck. Here go this tissue, bruh. We taking the dub. Hoping you get you some. This hit like a pick me up. She taking my drugs. Know they see the sign. That's some dollar signs. Know they sick as fuck. Know they sick as fuck. Tell them get well soon. Tell them get well soon. Know you sick as fuck. Get well soon.
Oh shit. Watch out, you the car, Billy. Oh shit. Right now, and I'm smiling in your face, bitch. With a gold smile, you should probably make placement to your eye. Niggas sick as fuck. Standing with niggas who down for that party. Who down for some bitches who showing their bodies. Swear to God, nigga, this Molly got me up and rolling. These bodies of water. Bring that shit in bottles. We march at the party that